It was during the last days of the prisoner exchange in Korea. I was there as they came through Freedom Gate, shattered, sick, and lame. And there in a Red Cross tent, as a weary group rested, a soldier broke out a deck of cards. A look of hate crossed the tired face of one boy as he sprang up, knocking the cards to the ground. As the cards lay around, many faced up, he picked up the ace and began. "I hate cards," he said. "The commies tried to use them to teach us their false doctrine. They told us the ace meant that there was but one God, the state. We knew that to be untrue, for we were religious boys. And the deuce meant that there were two great leaders, Lenin and Stalin. We couldn't swallow that either. And the tray stood for the three religious superstitions that the Reds would soon destroy, the Catholic, the Protestant, and the Jewish. This black four," the soldier boy continued, "stood for the four corners of the earth, where the hammer and the sickle would soon reign supreme. There in the prison camp we hoped it was a lie. This red 5 was the 5 points in their red star." Tears were streaming down the boy's face as he picked up the 6. And this 6, the commies told us, stood for the 6 and final wars the Americans had luckily won. The Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, World War I, and World War II. Now in the next war, America would be destroyed. And the 7 stood for our 7th foolish day, Sunday, which we wasted on our Lord. The 8 stood for the 8 hours we would have to spend every day learning to be progressives. The 9 for the cat o' nine tails lashed across our backs if we ever knelt to pray. The 10 was to remind us that our 10 commandments were 10 stupid rules that capitalistic fools believed in. The Jack meant that Christ was a knave of uncertain birth. The Queen, that Mary, his mother, was an unvirtuous woman. And the King stood for our Lord God, whom the commies told us did not exist, a dream, a fake, and a joke. The heart stood for Christ's blood, all shed in vain. The diamond signified the real precious jewel, the Communist Party. The club, the weapon of oppression with which they beat us. And the spade, a tool with which we would dig our own graves. This was the red deck of cards. "Fellows, that's why I hate cards," the soldier boy said, as his buddies picked up the cards, tore them into pieces, and with shining faces walked toward a simple chapel in Korea.